Hi, everybody. It's Steve at Credit Suite with another episode of Industry Leaders and Experts. Today, we have a very special guest, an industry that I've never, ever even thought about, let alone spoke to someone that's involved in it. We have Miss Courtney Petty from Bumble Bee Dispatch. Now, Courtney is an amazing human being in general. Uh, and what she's accomplished at her young age is amazing. But in addition to that, besides all the things she's going to tell you about, she also has followers on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and lots of them. So, Courtney, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, Stephen. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I know we've had trouble putting it together, but I'm super excited that we're together today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're
So,
welcome.
look, I usually do like this nice introduction. Your story is just whoa. I'm just going to let you take it. So tell us how you got to where you are. Matter of fact, what got you just into business in general?
Okay, so I've always been a hustler, Stephen. I've always been an entrepreneur. As far as the trucking industry itself, it's going to be my oldest brother. Prior to trucking, of course, I used to work for the police department. And my daughter's father, he was about 28. He was in the Army and he passed away. He had a heart attack. At that point, I was basically trying to find something I could do, basically working from home, where I could be more home, spend more time with my daughter and less time working 12 hours a day at the police department. So my oldest brother, he's 12 years older than me. He's always been in the trucking industry. He used to always tell me about trucking. And when he would mention it, I really wasn't interested in it. I would basically blow him off and be like, that's for guys. I don't want to do that. So basically we started in the freight brokerage. We opened up a freight brokerage. It was extremely hard. And then my brother started his trucking company. Well, when he started his trucking company, I started to manage his trucks. So basically I started dispatching his trucks and I could see the money that the trucks would make every week. And I basically just grew from there. So I was like, hey, if I could manage his trucking company, I could do this for other guys in the industry. And I started dispatching other guys in the industry. And that was the beginning of how I became Bumble Bee Dispatch.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to stop you right there because I'm a neophyte when it comes to this. Explain to me exactly what does dispatching do? I know lots of truckers. I talk to truckers all the time. I even understand what freight brokers do. I have no idea what you do.
Oh, no problem. So a dispatcher goes out and seek a trucking company,
Mhm,
somebody that has their own trucking authority. Okay.
mhm.
So the type of equipment that they could have could be a dry van, could be a refrigerated trailer, a flatbed, step deck, etc. A dispatcher basically utilize a load board and they go on there to find loads to go onto the trailer for the trucking company. Okay. They basically run that trucking company, keep the revenue and the freight on that truck, and they make a percentage of whatever revenue they bring in for that truck every week.
So you're like the air traffic controllers of connecting freight with the right trailer and the right trucker and all that. That's what you do.
Yes, basically. Uh-huh.
Okay, so you got to be super organized.
Yes, you do, especially when you get more trucks. Uh-huh.
So how many trucking companies are you up to now that you're dispatching for?
Oh, well, now I have dispatchers that work for me. So we have well over probably 60 trucks that we dispatch for. And we do have dispatchers that work for us.
Wow. Okay. So we have a ton of downloads of this podcast. A ton of them are truck drivers. Anybody need a dispatcher? Bumble Bee Dispatch. So, okay, yeah, but that's just a very small part of what you do and who you are. Talk to me about what's happened since then.
Okay, so with the dispatch, we basically started to add on different services that our clients could utilize. So we started with dispatching. The next thing was trailer rental. So we do have dry vans, flatbeds, step decks, trailers that we do rent out to the guys with their own authority. Amongst that, we just started a tractor rental. So now they can actually rent day cabs, they can rent sleepers, straight trucks from us. We don't do a credit check. A lot of these companies make it really hard for the guys to kind of get into the industry, and they take them through so much red tape. So we don't do a credit check, basically. From there, we do authority setup. So anybody that's looking to get into the trucking industry, we can get them started with their own authority setup. We can also dispatch them. We can rent them a trailer. We have factoring services, fuel card discounts. Our website is bumblebeedispatch.com, and we are a one-stop shop within trucking. Amongst trucking, what happened was, as I started to kind of grow in the trucking industry, I believe of having multiple sources of income, basically. So I like to diversify my income and my money, and I started a vending business. So one day I was at Sam's, and I saw these two guys. They had a straight truck. So I'm looking at the guys because of the straight truck, but I noticed they were putting snacks inside of the straight truck. So I approached them. And I'm like, hey, what do you guys have? A convenience store? And the guy said, no, we have vending machines. So basically, when I left Sam's that day, I went home, I started doing research on vending machines. And needless to say, that's when my vending career started.
They didn't even see you coming, did they?
Oh, no, no.
So now you've gone from what seems to be like an amazing business, the dispatch business, and all the ancillary things that you do. Now you've got the vending business, but since you are who you are, that wasn't enough either, was it?
Oh, no, I'm always investing. But yeah.
So what else have you done? Well, what else have you done, right?
Well, just recently this year, actually, the online marketplace is really taken over, especially with the COVID and coronavirus and everything that's going on. More people are shopping online. So, last but not least, I actually invested into an online clothing store or online boutique. It was basically a Shopify store, and I just purchased a pre-existing Shopify store, and that is called BleuLuxury.com. And we've been
Wow.
doing that for probably for about 3 months.
Cool. Okay. And by the way, I agree with you. I'm old school. I like to buy from local businesses. That's how I always operated. I fought the Amazon thing forever and finally broke down and bought something from Amazon this year. I just hated the idea that I couldn't go down to the local store and buy it from somebody that lived locally, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I finally broke down. Now, guess who's addicted to Amazon?
Okay. Are you a Prime member now?
Of course I am.
Yeah.
so, so that alone that alone is more than I talked to, I'm in my 50s. You've done in your short, and you're very young, um, as much as I've done in my 55 years, but that wasn't enough. Then you decided, I think I'll start a YouTube channel 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I started the YouTube channel to enlighten people about the trucking industry. And, we teach freight broker and we teach freight dispatch. So, when I started in the industry, it wasn't too much information out there to get me started. I basically learned from my older brother. So basically, I wanted to bring more information to other people that were curious about getting started in the industry. And that's when I started the YouTube channel.
Well, it's funny you put a summary like that on it. Well, it's about trucking. Not, it's more than that. I look at YouTube channels every day because I interview people just like yourself, and you're teaching people how to sell, even how to
Yes.
sell, how to speak to freight brokers, how to speak to like it's more. It's a very educational heavy channel from what I see.
Thank you. Thank you. And a lot of people don't realize, but a freight broker is a sales agent. That's what they are.
And you make sure they know how to sell. I was,
Correct.
ladies and gentlemen, before the interview, I said, I loved your sell me a pen video.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for
I
watching.
I loved it. Um, so you've got that, you've got Instagram, obviously. I assume, since now I've known you for a little while here, that you've monetized these channels as well.
Of course.
Of course, so
Yes.
multiple streams of income. What,
Hmm.
I I have to ask you, what's your favorite? Forget money, forget how much you make. What's your favorite thing to do of all the things you're doing? What's your favorite?
My favorite, probably trucking, the trucking industry.
It's your first
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, it's my first love. It basically made me who I am today. It changed my life. So I will always love trucking.
Well,
Mhm.
I have to ask you this because you do have a very educational channel. I learned a ton just watching a few of your videos. Uh, do you get a lot of people reaching out to you, thanking you for introducing you to being a freight broker? Like, do you get a lot of interaction with your followers?
I do. I do. I get a lot of phone calls, emails, social media messages, and they really enjoy the content. I've had people that taken classes elsewhere and they seen my free content on YouTube, and they learned more on the free content than the money they spent taking a class from other companies.
You know what? That's I'm gonna back that 3,000% because that's the one thing that I love about Credit Suite is we do the same thing. We give away a ton of
Hmm.
free information because we want to help everybody. It seems to me like you feel the same way.
Correct. Correct.
Because you went through what our CEO went through is you had to learn it on your own. Your brother helped
Correct.
you, but you basically had to learn it on your own. There was nobody to help you, right?
Correct. Yes, that's right.
I love that. So for everybody who's listening, don't forget to go check out our YouTube channel. You can check out all our channels, but YouTube channel is to me one of my favorites, and I looked at all of them. So what's next for you? What's in your mind? Because I know you're already planning the next deal. What do you
Oh,
think?
wow. So you know what? I want to focus on actually growing my channel, growing the companies that I have now, and then hopefully we can do something pretty big in the future. I'm not sure if it's going to be real estate or what the next move is going to be, but right now I want to develop the companies that I have, and then I can reinvest into something else.
Well, I'll tell you, this is obviously just one person's opinion. Keeping in mind that I speak to a lot of truckers daily.
Hmm.
Um, you're the first company I've ever heard that basically is the Walmart for truckers. They can
Thank
get
you.
they can get a truck, they can get a trailer, they can get dispatch. In other words, you can find them work, right?
Hmm.
You can help them get
Correct.
their authority.
Yes.
So if you're probably too young to remember the commercials, but I remember the Drive the Big Rig commercials when I was younger.
Hmm.
They're the schools for trucking. So somebody gets out of school today and they've got their license. If they want to go into business instead of working for somebody, they can call you.
Correct. And we also can set their LLC or INC up in their state as well. So we're the one-stop shop. We're going to set their company up. We're going to set their authority up, do their EIN number, handle all of their paperwork. And then once they get that authority from the FMCSA and they need work, we're going to also dispatch them if they want us to. So all of our services, they can pick and choose what they need us to do. We have some guys that only rent a trailer. We have other guys that only use dispatch. So they can pick and choose, but we are here to help them in whichever direction they want to go.
So how long have you been in this business? How long? You said when you first started, but I never asked you how long that's been. How long ago was that?
So I've been in the trucking industry for 8 years
8 years. Okay, good. So I have a question that's not on my list.
now. Okay, go ahead.
Have you noticed uh, more and more women are getting into trucking?
I have, again, I didn't want to be in trucking. And now, I mean, women are taking over the trucking industry, actually.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My last three trucking influencers were all women.
Oh,
All
wow.
women. I was like,
Amazing.
wow. I had no idea. My uncle was in the business. It was the 70s. But
Yeah.
I'm noticing that. So the fact that you have one of the top dispatching companies in the country and you're a young woman does not surprise me at all.
Oh, thank you.
It
Thank
doesn't
you.
surprise, and I'm not going to tell the audience how old you are because I don't know, but you're definitely not in your 50s and 60s. This isn't 40 years of experience. It's really awesome. How does your family feel about it? Like, kind of give me some personal stuff. Tell me, how your family feels about what you've done.
Well, I believe that they can't believe it. They're very proud of me, and I try to help them as well. Both of my brothers are truck drivers. So we're all kind of like in the trucking family. My oldest brother, of course, he's been in trucking forever. My youngest brother, he's 25 and he's been in trucking for about 2 years now. So pretty much, and it's just us three. I'm the only girl. I have two brothers. So we're all kind of like in trucking together.
Let me guess, they kind of work for you?
No, not really.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I asked this of any trucking influencer that comes on. Have you ever gone to the Iowa 40 show, the
I
truck stop?
haven't.
You have not.
I
I
haven't.
was there
No.
last year. It's an amazing. If you ever get an opportunity to go, you should go. First of all, their
Okay,
their
sure.
trucking museum is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh,
It
wow.
really, it's
Okay.
all trucks from the beginning of time until now. Um,
Mhm.
so what do you want your legacy to be? Like, when you think to the future, you go, this is what I want to leave my mark, and this is the legacy I want. That's a
Well,
tough question.
I want to change the trucking world. I want to be known for the woman who ran trucking. A lot of people don't know, but everything we utilize as consumers have to get transported via trucks. you know? So when we wake up in the morning and we go to brush our teeth, that toothpaste came to Walmart on a truck, right? So it's basically recession proof, pandemic proof. Trucking has been around before I was born, and it's going to be here after I leave. Now, they are changing a lot of things in the industry as far as, the automated trucks, self-driving trucks, but I want to be the Amazon of trucking, basically.
Well, it seems like you're on your way. You're already the
Well, thank
Walmart.
you. Yeah.
um, so do you ever think about maybe selling anything, or is it something you want to leave to your children? Like kind of like when you're done, when you go, I've had enough. I'm now almost 30 years old. Maybe it's time to retire.
Yeah, well, I basically will pass it down because even with my other businesses, I'm basically teaching my kids, how to own your own companies. My kids do have, like, I have a 5-year-old. He already have a coloring book that's out on Amazon. So I'm teaching him business now at his age. I don't want him to get older and start late like a lot of us did. So basically, I try to instill that in them now. So more so of the generational wealth, the whatever I create here, I want to be able to pass down to my kids, my grandkids, and so forth.
Well, you mentioned a book, as a matter of fact, and I didn't mention that. You published a book, didn't you?
Correct. Correct. I
What's
did.
well?
Is how to be a freight broker agent. So that was a while ago, but actually when I started the YouTube channel, then I came out with a book, and it is available on Kindle, on Amazon, that they could purchase and download it basically.
So, as I see it, you're teaching people how to be freight brokers. You're helping truck drivers go into business. You're keeping them busy. See, it's one thing when people will teach how to do something. You're not just teaching them how to do it, then you're helping them make money while they're doing it.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, I think
Correct.
that's the gap. That's, I think, where I'm kind of shocked. Um,
Mhm.
I talk to, like I said, I talk to lots and lots of truckers, and what I hear all the time is, I need to get a trailer, I need to get a refrigerator trailer, I'm looking for a flatbed, I need help with my
Mhm.
credit so that I can do this. Well, actually, they don't. They just need to find you.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, I can solve all their problems.
So maybe it should be Bumblebee Problem Solvers.
Yes, yes.
I love it. Well, what would you want to leave with our listeners? What would you want to say? Like the one thing that you want them to know about you, and what they can change in their life to become as successful as you, because you are just beyond successful.
Well, thank you, Stephen. And I will say that it started with faith, and I'm going to revert back to what I talked about in the beginning. When I left that police department, I didn't know how I was going to make money. It was my daughter. So I was like, I have to be there for her. I stepped out on faith, but that was the best decision I could have ever made. If somebody is watching this channel, and they're interested in getting started in the trucking industry, just step out on faith, or whatever business there's, trying to do, whatever route they're trying to go in their life. If they are looking to get started in the trucking industry, then I am here to guide them, to hold their hand, and to help them through the process. But yeah, it started with faith, basically.
I love it. All right, so if they're going to reach out to you, best way, bumblebeedispatch.com.
Correct. BumblebeeDispatch.com.
Uh,
I am on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Bumblebee Dispatch as well.
Wonderful. You were such a pleasure. I absolutely
Thank
loved having
you.
you.
You were
I have
too.
to tell you, my head's spinning. I have lots of truckers I want to call right now when I'm done with you and go,
Well,
you need to reach
thanks.
out to Courtney. I, I had a ton of fun. I loved having you here. We'd love to have you on the show again. I bet you have a ton more you can tell us, but our show is limited to how
Yes,
long it could be.
yes, yes.
Um, Once again, Courtney, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your success. We wish you nothing but the best in the future.
Well, thank you for having me, and it
Oh,
was a
it's
pleasure.
That's my pleasure. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for listening to our industry leaders today with Courtney Petty with Bumblebee Trucking. Don't forget our Bumblebee Dispatch, bumblebeedispatch.com. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.